An Indian, of course, I have a soft spot for Irish people. Our flags have the same colors, our struggles were the same. Both of us got starved to death by the British. So, yeah, sorry, Indo-Irish friendship for the win, but it has to be done for the sake of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traitors of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. In this episode, we shall degrade the offensive ability of two factions, the Ebdanians and the Picts, while completely destroying the Gaetulians. Since none of these are hordes yet, we will have to attack their cities. Each city will be treated differently as the tactical situation demands. Remember, strategy without tactics is the long way to victory, but tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Let us begin with the nearest enemy, the Gaetulians, and attack their city of Dimity. The way we have arranged is to make the enemy confused about our intention. Because they are extremely cavalry heavy, sometimes they can charge out of the city, which can be very difficult to deal with. So we will place two raider cavalry on either side, which will go and set fire to buildings. As you can see, they are now approaching. One of the raider cavs I have to pull back because there are missile units nearby. Meanwhile, our infantry and missile units are going to run to that part of their city. I do not start near them and prefer to run over there so that the enemy does not position a lot of troops in that corner. So the enemy is left confused with the bulk of their portions facing our troops in the front, while we are going to run and reposition much faster. One raider cavalry will set fire to the far away tower over here. As you can see in the previous episode, we have always used infantry to set fire to towers. This is because cavalry is capped at maximum 80 units. So if one arrow from the tower takes out one unit, you lose twice as much as compared to infantry, which are capped at 160 BP. So although raiders can take out the towers much easily, they will suffer a lot of casualties. As you can see, they are getting really hit while they try to reposition and throw their torches. But these are raider troops, so only one throw of torches will suffice and they'll be able to make the tower catch fire. So here they go, they are throwing their torches. That building has caught fire. We are going to move this cavalry away. The infantry has now arrived along with our missile units, which are now going to take up positions near the mouth of the city. Meanwhile, we keep a part of our cavalry in the front of the city to make sure that the enemy does not reposition all its troops and overwhelm us over here. So we are going to use fired arrows against their cavalry units. We will move our camels to support. Meanwhile, our hurler unit will constantly run towards the enemy archers so that their skirmish mode is triggered and they keep running away from our troops and do not actually get shots off. We are going to be a bit wasteful with this army because we have paid full upkeep for it in the previous turn. And we are going to disband this army. So this army is very far away from all the pressure points and we are restricted to only 8 armies in the beginning. So this army, whatever losses or gains it does, this is going to be the end of this army. So I really don't care. We have already lost one raider cavalry at this point, but it did its job. It got those towers on fire and that's all it needed to do. So you can see our skirmish troops are continuously harassing the enemy. They are not leaving the city because we actually outnumber the enemy. This is the first fight that we have done where we actually outnumber the enemy. Most of the time, probably for the entire campaign, we'll be fighting way outnumbered. So our raider is going on the right flank to take out the archers, which are beyond the support of the infantry and cavalry. Our hurlers are making short work. Our levis amatori are racking up their kills. So we move our archers and our hurlers to one unit of desert raiders, which has come near to the opening of the city, and we are going to fire over there. Meanwhile, their javelin units, their jav cav, are coming in and throwing javs at our spears, but they are in testudo, so we don't need to worry about it that much. And for some reason, desert cavalry is not as dangerous as Celtic jav cavs and Germanic jav cavs, and God forbid the Nordic jav cavs. I don't know what it is about them, but I have a lot less respect for the desert variety. I'm moving continuously the Soul Raider cavalry unit that I have around the city so that he can go and set fire to it. I'm giving easy opportunities for the enemy cavalry to waste their ammunition on, so their hurlers are firing at stationary testudos, not doing much damage. Meanwhile, our archers are hammering any unit which is nearby. So there you can see, we ask the raiders to throw torches at that far tower. It's not that important. Over here we have a lot of pressure coming in because the enemy has chosen to come out of the city, but this is not going to be very difficult because they are coming in piecemeal, and we can do a flank, so we don't even bother to charge them as yet. We wait for our cohorts and desert legionary defectors to throw their projectiles lazily while the Limitani spears, Limitani border guards are going to hook and keep these camel cavalry in place. This is not a fight I'm very worried about because against a stationary testudo, there is no way that these tier 1 cavalry units are going to win. That's never going to happen. So you can clearly see that our infantry is just standing confidently. Here comes our camels for a charge. Camels have a very weird way of charging. They go very slowly, but at the last moment they speed up, and then they just keep going. Look at them, they're just running into the mass of the infantry. And camels scare horses. Pretty tanky units to begin with. Like if you play the desert faction and you can make 2 armies which are all pretty much camels, which you can make armored camels later on, yeah, you will just dominate. So every one of these units we have slowly eroded. They came in piecemeal, they got destroyed wholesale. So now we move into the stronghold where the general is. We move the fresh unit of Limitani border guards, but I keep camels nearby to support, and also I keep an eye on the Limitani because the general will charge. See, the general is charging, so then I just immediately put my Limitani border guards on stationary testudo. I ask the desert spears to support, use their steady ability to take on better charges. Here comes the camels from the back. Look at that charge. So they come in slow and then they pick up speed, and this general has no chance. He has no chance. He's the sole remaining unit. It's a horse unit which is scared by the camels. There we go. We have the victory. So we have taken the city. We are not going to do any mop up because all these units are going to be eliminated. There we go. So this fight, we are going to destroy this city. We're going to raze it to the ground because there is no army of the Ebdanians left. This is their last city. If we raze this, we're going to loot it first for 789 gold, which is nice because I like gold. And then we are going to simply burn it to the ground after we distribute some points. As always, first point goes to authority, second point goes to cunning. And you repeat that in the subsequent ones. There we go. Let's raze it to the ground. Beautiful. There we go. Gadarat is dead. Gaetulians are out. So one faction is now also gone from the map. We will disband this army and get back 3000 odd gold in upkeep. We'll reduce the increased upkeep tax level to back to normal. What we're going to do is we're going to lure the Garamantians to attack us at Sabrata. So we are not going to recruit these 3 Lematarni water guards because they might get too strong for the enemy and then they do not approach. And we're going to put them in force march and keep them near Leptis Magna, hoping that the Garamantians cannot reach us, but they come into our territory lured by this easy bait. Now, we had a Pyrrhic victory at Camulodunum last time against the Franks. They can come in with 1 unit of untouched army stack that they had, which they ran back to their city previous turn. So we hire all the mercenaries there. At Segontium, we are going to hire all the mercenaries that we can, and we are going to directly attack their soul city. So Eblana is the one and only city of the Ebdanians, so we come in to attack. Their generals, their admiral sees that it doesn't stand a chance, so it runs off. So in this case, what we are going to do is that we are going to simply raze Eblana to the ground. This will leave a single admiral which has 2 choices. Either it can come back and resettle Eblana, and we have a fleet nearby at Segontum which can come and destroy it and thereby get rid of the faction, or this single fleet can just roam the high seas forever. Because it will be 1 ship, they won't have any income, so whatever they have in their bank, probably they can hire 1 mercenary ship or 2, it won't be an issue. We will go for Tuesis, which is the Pictish city, so we'll do the Eblana fight next. So let's go and do this city. This fight is the most enjoyable city fight that probably there will be. This is a sneak attack, so I will outline what we're going to do over here. This is a very fun battle. It looks formidable on paper, but this city has a tremendous weakness, and we're going to exploit this weakness because this current army that we have is not able to take out such a large garrison, but we will manage. So we're going to put 2 units of the Celtic useless infantry in the front in full view, and we're going to put the Celtic mercenary onager in full view in the back over here, directly in line of their tower over there. Next, we are going to start the sneak. Cavalry, group 1, sneaks in to this bush over here. Make sure you check that they are actually hidden by seeing that eye icon above their unit card, so that means they are hidden. The Roman infantry will now hide behind this clump because it cannot do guerrilla deployment, so it cannot go beyond that yellow line. The Celtic infantry will also hide over here so that all the infantry, when they start running, they run together. And all the the Levis Amiture and the other projectile units, the Celtic things, will be distributed in the following way. Levis Amiture over there because they cannot do any guerrilla deployment. And the Celtic skirmishers will be moved in as close as possible while being hidden. So we try over here. Yeah, this is pretty good, but maybe they get seen, so we'll be a bit sure a little further off, but here they definitely won't get seen. Right, we begin the battle, and our first task is to take out with fire shot of the catapults. The catapult will auto and attack their tower. Meanwhile, we are going to break in this one soul section of the wall. So here comes the first shot. You can see the other shots are coming in. We fire a couple more shots. This wall is about to break. Typically it takes 4 to 5 shots to break a wall section. And now, this has broken. It's all units go. Cavalry go. Infantry go. Skirmishers go. Everybody is going to rush into this stronghold of the enemy. Everything is going to run full speed. We are not going to stop. That is why we place the general and that weak unit of infantry over there to simply prove a distraction. So it's go, 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 go. Everybody is going to run. Nobody is going to trip over each other. We are not going to listen to excuses. It's full speed running to go inside this stronghold. So the The cavalry has already reached because that is the fastest. Our scout cavalry moves in first. We notice that the general is over there. There is a spear unit also over there, so we have to be a bit careful because there is very little room to maneuver. The scout cavalry will go directly into that bastion onager of theirs, because else your units, infantry units and skirmisher units start throwing stuff at them and get busy with them. They really like messing with them for some reason. So we're going to use our cavalry, which has already entered the stronghold, first thing. Next, we're going to use the limited amount of space over here, so we can move as close as possible to the enemy general. We'll start peppering him with our javelins. There aren't many javelins in the Celtic JFK. They only have 4 projectiles, so we make them count. This is hell in a very small place, so we give ground very gradually, so we move back the max we can, and we move not both, so we don't move both the cavalry to the same place, so we move them in different phases. We phase them out so that the enemy can focus on one. We can use the other to do a hammer and anvil. Our catapult will meanwhile continue to hammer the captain of the general of the garrison, so we try to reposition. It's very difficult because there is very limited amount of space over here. We move our scout cavalry as much as possible. Their sword unit is coming in, and now they notice that our infantry is swarming inside the stronghold. So they turn around, and that's what you're waiting for. As soon as they have their backs to the cavalry, we are going to charge. So this is a devastating charge. Our scout equities are going to turn around, and then they are going to do a charge of their own. Bam! That's it. This is a great charge. This is a great charge. This sword unit is already losing decisively. Their spear is now trying to close this little gap, but our cohorts have moved in, our axes have moved in, and as I said, axes are very competent units. We are going to destroy this general and this infantry. So our main focus right now is to destroy whatever is in the stronghold and block up this entrance of the stronghold with Roman infantry. And we are going to move all of our skirmisher units on the ramparts, and they are going to fire into the enemies which are coming in. So the enemy stronghold is right now just turned against them. They don't know what to do. This is supposed to be the place they are supposed to defend last, and this is what they have to defend minute 3 of the battle. This is what the AI is not prepared for, and we're going to use them. We're going to milk them for all their work. So our axes are doing a fantastic job. We're going to move a Limitani border guard forward, because Limitani, if they are able to just come and stand at this bottleneck, they will not budge. This hole will get closed and the enemy will not reach. Meanwhile, our projectiles are going to take up position in the ramparts, and they are going to hammer the enemy. So controlling the projectiles is often a bit difficult. The enemy's JFKs are coming in, so that's why we prioritize the Limitani to be the first to move forward. We are moving our horses towards the back of the stronghold. There, you can see I'm trying to mount the skirmishers on the walls. It's a bit tricky because the pathing is always a bit difficult. Their archers are firing, but yeah, we have the high ground now. We are the general of the stronghold. We are the captain now. So we're moving the cavalry towards the back. Remember, these are so the JFK that you have. This is a raider unit, so it captures the city center much faster than normal units. So here, what you want to do is that you want to you want to maximize the time it takes you to capture the city center. We killed the general, so that's a moral debuff. Because what we want to do is we want this entire army to slowly come towards the stronghold and be continuously pepper fired by our javelins, because these javelins they get their ammunition back next turn, so I have to spend all of this ammunition. The first army, which is the nearer army, is already inside the city. If we win this fight, this army is going to be eliminated. Our point is to maximize the time it takes to capture the city center, so that the second army actually comes near to our javelins and get shot, and we have far lesser number of units to capture. So what you can do is that you can, so over here for example, my raider cav was inside the stronghold quite a long time, and they were able to capture the city center. You can move him back after that charge and make sure you capture the city center in your sweet time, while the second army moves in and they get hammered by this curtain of skirmishers that we have put up over here. This is murderous fire. Any person which is coming up at this rank is going to be murderous. There you can see our Levis Amatori are firing at that other Bastion Onager. They love Bastion Onagers for some reason. They just can't have enough of them. They see a Bastion Onager. Am I supposed to fire all of my projectiles at him? I'm going to fire all my projectiles at him. That's what I'm going to do. I ran out of projectiles because I took a unit which was not even pointing at me, and I wasted all my projectiles at him. Right, so prioritize these mercenary Celtic berserkers. They are pretty beefy, very tanky units, but against javelins and any kind of arrow fire, because these are topless men who are apparently a great attack unit, no armor, and they get destroyed by any kind of projectile units. While of course they are redoubtable units when it comes to them coming into melee. I'm scared of these units as soon as they are in melee. We're going to reposition the archers, our cavalry, because we want to capture as many of the troops which are going to run away from the second army. The first army will be destroyed, so don't worry about catching their units. It's not going to count towards anything. The second army is the one that you want to really maul. So if this fight went on an extra 3-4 minutes, all of these units would be near to our javelins and would have just received javelin fire to their face and gotten wrecked. But with so many things going on, it gets too hectic, and this is a fight I really enjoy. This battle I really look forward to. Every time I play Western Rome, this is a fight I really enjoy. I wonder which other barbarian cities has this layout. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments below. This would be fantastic to know, because this is a sneak which is going to work every time. We are about to capture the fort. So if we had maybe another minute or so, we would have fired some more projectiles, because you can see I am also out of projectiles, so it's not that I wasted too much by capturing the city too early. There you go. As soon as the timer runs out, every unit which is in the battlefield which came to protect the city are going to run away. So we did a mop up. So it says 1500 people survived. It's not that, because many from the first army survived. We'll have to check how many people from the second army survived. So that is this one. So they have 2 archers, okay, this is fine. None of their dangerous units like Celtic mercenary berserkers survived. Their chaff cav did not survive in large numbers. So here what we're going to do, we're going to sack it not once, we're going to sack it a couple of times and completely trash the city. We're going to make it a complete wrecked city. So what we want to do is, this Pictish army which ran away into the shadows, we can't catch up to them. What we want to do is, we want to wreck their city and leave their territory and return to our territory. In a few turns, the enemy is going to get cocky and he is going to return to its city, because that's where he's safest, right? And then we are going to go in there. Then they will have one army in one city and we are going to destroy them. So we are not going to raze this city. So this is the tactical situation, and that is what is driving our strategy. Now, finally, Ebdanians, their one admiral has run away. So if we destroy this a city, if we raze it to the ground, then that admiral will be left alone. It won't be able to recruit much because it will not have money to do so. The AI cheats, but it doesn't cheat that much in Attila. Okay, so for this fight, this is with only our navy. When their navy ships are rounding this bend, that is when you want to order your ships to go and catch the archers, because around the bend then they cannot maneuver very much. In the open seas they constantly back away and reload their ammunition, and it's just frustrating because these bow ships are not that powerful. You have an excess of melee infantry, so it makes no sense to continuously lose troops to this very weak unit which you can defeat in melee, because you're strong in melee in this fight. We don't have very many projectile units. We have one unit of javelin ships which have like zero range, like they can't shoot their left hand from their right hand right? So yeah, I don't look at my troops jumping from one ship to the another, because it really gives me anxiety, because sometimes they fall into the sea. Yeah, so they jump and I really get scared looking at that. I mean, I'm tough enough to take on Western Roman Empire, legendary, this is Total War campaign, but my own marines jumping from one ship to the other, doing this 5-meter jumps, which I don't know who is the long jump champion in the world. I know Usain Bolt can run very fast. Yeah, I don't know much about sports. So now what we're going to do is, because we don't have primacy of projectiles, we are going to lure them as far out of the city as possible, and our limited amount of projectiles are going to go to the bend of the city where the beach is very close to the water, and they'll try to pepper as much as and do a bit of damage that they can. The AI is pretty stupid. The javelin can't reach anything. The archers I have, they have only 8 to 12 ammunition, so they can't do much damage. The artillery ship doesn't do much, so we are dependent on our limited infantry. So we're gonna hide our infantry as soon as we land, and once they have come out of the city, we are just going to move our general out of this little forest patch, and we're going to move back in there just to draw in their Javcav. The Javcav has 4 projectiles, 4 spears that it can throw. After that it will charge, so we have to eat that charge. We don't have any unit which can take charges very well, so that's why we hide in the forest, because in forests the charge speed is cut to 75%, so they charge 25% less fast as they would in the open. In the open it would be much worse. So yeah, we just have to take this charge. There is no other way, nothing else we can do. We don't have any spears, nothing. We have just some swords. So as soon as this cavalry engages, we are going to move in with everybody and just jump them. We're going to just pull them down from their horses. This berserker unit will do a lot of damage, although it's taken a charge to the face. And this is really fortunate that their javelins are just focusing on our ship javelin, so we land our bow ship as soon as its ammunition is over, to just cause distraction. At this point you're trying to make the enemy come at you piecemeal, make sure that their troops which run away, they actually shatter. So some very weak spear unit is coming in that we will destroy. If that javelin unit came in close and got a volley off, this would have been game over. So now there's a competent spear unit coming in, so we're going to move our general and the marines, Roman marines, to the side, to the flanks, so that our axes can go to work against this sword unit. These are Celtic starting sword units, they're pretty trash. So our axes had to run away, but it's fine, they did their duty. So again, the 2 swords will charge, the general will swing around and our bow ship, which is now landed, is just going to chase after this javelin unit. This is going to simply trigger their skirmish ability, and they will just run forever and till the end of the map, essentially. But once we kill their general, then their morale is going to collapse. So if this javelin unit decided to turn around and do melee with our bow ship unit, they would have destroyed it, and then they could have come back and hammered us. But luckily they don't. They just decided to run. So their archers meanwhile have been wasting their arrows on our ships. So that's why we placed our ships very near to the coast. So even if they cannot fire at the shore units, at least they can soak up this fire. Because if they were firing at these landed units, then it would have been terrible. We got their general. There we go. Their morale is going to be now wavering, and it's just a matter of mop up. So there we go. We got the victory. So everybody is eliminated now, because this is again a city battle. We're going to loot them for 853 gold, and we are going to raze this to the ground. There we go. All of Ireland is now going to be burned down. As an Indian, of course, I have a soft spot for Irish people. Our flags have the same colors. Our struggles were the same. Both of us got starved to death by the British. So yeah, sorry, Indo-Irish friendship for the win, but it has to be done for the sake of the game. These are the units which we're going to leave behind. Artillery, a very weak and cheap marine unit, which is going to snare their admiral if it comes to attack, and our artillery ship is going to just take down their anything which attacks, basically. Right. We're going to move into Frisia, grab the mercenaries, come back to Colonia Agrippina, because we're going to get ready for the attack by the Saxons, by the Lombards, by the Franks maybe. And now we are going to make preparations for the fight against the Suebians. So we just see which general has the better cunning, and that is the one which is going to do the fight. So the one which is a better governor or more cunning is the one which is going to do the fight. The rest, the other army is going to be disbanded. So that will free up a patrician for us for the next turn. And let's go and do this attack. But that is for the next time. 3 fights is great. This has been the War of the Cities, because we did 3 different treatments to 3 different cities. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.